All right, at 7 o'clock, I'll go ahead and open or call the meeting to order. Darcy, if you would call the roll, please.
Engelhardt,
Here.
Ingstrom,
Here.
Malcolm,
Here.
Mar, Moore.
Yep, here.
All right, thank you. Item 3, the Pledge of Allegiance. So all those who are able, please stand. Recite pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item 4 then is perfection and approval of the agenda. And I am going to take off item 14. Reason being is Devora had sent an email to Darcy and you know, she's got the flu, but she's got, I don't know, do you guys have it?
No.
It's fine. Okay, so she's got all of these questions that were pertaining to this item. And I think if she's got that many, maybe we all do. So we're going to put it on the agenda then coming up to get this fella back, right, Matt? And he'll give us a presentation on the traffic cameras. So everybody at least is on the same page there. All right.
Any chance of that happening in March, sir?
It sure could. Yes. Yeah. If you want, that's right. You're gone. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
When's that gonna be? March.
Well, you haven't got a hold of him yet, but if we, all
Paul left message today, so.
right, but we can save it for then.
March,
Yep.
that's fine.
All right.
Are you done?
Well, I lost one of my lenses on my glasses, and I look like a pirate.
All right. Okay. So that's the deal on that. All right. So then let's go to item 5, and it's time for the concerned citizens. If anybody in the crowd has got anything, what's that, ma'am?
Number 4.
Or we just
Oh,
make a
make a motion, please. Yeah, you bet. Is there a motion to approve?
I move we approve.
All righty. Thank you. Is there a second? All right. Thanks. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Thanks.
Sorry about that.
That's fine. No, you got to keep me straight here. So then we'll go on to item 5, then concerned citizens. Is there anybody?
I don't have concerns, but I just want to share something.
You got something nice to say?
Yeah, no, it's great. I just want to continue to keep you in line with what we're doing for Heart and Soul. And again, I'll introduce myself for YouTube. So my name's Crystal Duffy, and I'm the project manager for Heart and Soul and the community developer for Postville. So I've been sharing some posts on Facebook and Instagram, kind of explaining the process for people to hopefully help them understand this, like, I know it can be some kind of abstract thing. And then I just wanted to keep the city council aware of all that too, in case you're not on social media. So the Heart and Soul process is a 4-stage process, and they pretty much finished phase 1 before I got involved, and we're at the beginning of phase 2, which is where we start to actually talk to our community members and find them and see what it is they love about Postville and what they want to improve about Postville and some hopes for the future. And so right now in our meetings, we're coming up with plans for how to find all the people in our community, and we decide sort of how many people for each group is appropriate. So if half of our town is Latino, are we cool with meeting with 2 people? No, we're not. So we try and figure out ways to meet with representatives for every community. And so that's what we're working on right now. And probably towards March, we'll start actually hitting the ground, and I'll be going to places and talking to people and sharing out some things that we learn. I've already gathered some data that I think is pretty interesting. And if any of you ever want to ask me more about the process because you still don't understand it, you're welcome to come find me at the library Wednesday through Saturday. Email me. I have about 3 emails I'd be happy to give you. And yeah, so just wanted to keep everybody aware of what we're doing. None of it is a secret. It's all very out in the open, and we're happy to share about what we do. So that's it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, then let's go on to item number 6, and that's receipt of the bids. Maggie Berger is with us tonight, and I'm going to let you take over.
That sounds great. Thank you, Mayor. I'm Maggie Berger with Spear Financial. We are the financial advisor to the city of Postville. And today we took bids from the 10:30 to 11 a.m. timeframe on your $400,000 taxable general obligation capital loan note series 2023A. We've laid a letter of recommendation in front of you. We are recommending that you would award this evening to the lowest interest rate, which is by law what we have to do, which is Bankers Bank of Madison, Wisconsin. Their bid was for an interest rate of 4.9272%. So I also laid on there your colorful sheets of your TIF report. And I want you to pay attention that in 2017, our interest rate was 2.5%. So thank you, Federal Reserve, for meeting 8 times this year and raising interest rates. So as I was explaining this morning on the phone, really this last interest rate of 50 basis points or 0.5% the Fed did really started to shoot interest rates up. I think people in the market were thinking it wasn't going to happen. They were just going to give us a freeway, in December, and it wasn't going to happen. And then they came out and raised it, and we just really saw the rates take a jump. The taxable rates are higher, and these are taxable bonds because there's a private purpose intent here that you are going to purchase this land and that you potentially could sell the land. You could give the land away to a developer. You could do all of these different things that would be working with one specific developer, meaning the city could benefit from that on a private basis. So that is what makes the bonds taxable. That just means that the people that buy your bonds, the people that are lending you the money, they have to pay federal income tax on the interest that you pay them. We issue tax exempt bonds pretty commonly, and in 2017, those were your tax exempt bonds. A lot of times those are for public infrastructure, water, sewer, streets, sidewalks, things like that. Those bonds that are tax exempt, the people do not pay federal income tax on the interest that you pay them, so they're willing to take a lower interest rate. But these are just like if you were to go down the street to the bank and do any type of a borrowing for your own personal needs. That's what the kind of interest rates we're looking at. We did have 4 bids today, which was fantastic. The low bid of Bankers Bank of Madison, if you flip to page 2, was in association with Freedom Bank. And this morning, we did not know that information. Bankers Bank provided us that information this afternoon. So that just means that they did pair up with your local bank, which we think is phenomenal. We'd love to see that happen. And we don't know how much your local bank will take, but they're probably taking at least some of the deal out of this. And so we like to see this. We really appreciate when we're notified that a local bank was participating in the bid. In the past, Bankers Bank has been your winning bidder a lot, and it has been due to the fact that Bankers Bank represents a lot of the banks in and around your community, which is nice. We have Northland, UMB, Central States Capital. These are all bidders that we see bidding on deals under $1 million here in the state of Iowa. So we're pretty happy with those results. Page 3 is your final debt service schedule. So this is the debt service schedule that Darcy will use when she puts it into her budget here as she's working on her documents. The call feature is June 1st of 2030. And that line that we've drawn there, that just means that if at that time, and those 3 principal amounts remain, if interest rates are lower than 4.9%, you would be able to refinance these at a lower interest rate. You would also be able to pay them off at that time, or you could pay them ahead. So let's just say you had an extra $20,000, you could pay down the principal at that point in time. As we've talked about in the past, these are investments. So the people that are buying these and lending you money, they're going to hold them as an investment. And so that's why they're not callable right away. That's why you have to have them out there for a certain amount of time so that they know that they're going to keep their investment. If we made them callable sooner, we would have seen a higher interest rate than the 4.92% for sure. So with that, I'd answer any questions that you have. This receipt of bids will cover, or what we just talked about will cover your resolution item number 7 and your resolution item number 8. Number 7 just is kind of we're going to play a little catch up here. Your bonding attorney did not give you in your action at the prior month, did not put in there that you were approving the official statement. Now, it is not a federal requirement that you approve the official statement, but in the state of Iowa, Bond Council likes to say you were approving the official statement, and that is the document that we sent out to everybody to give them the information about the bond sale. So the bond council has asked that we ratify that document this evening, just so that it is of record that you guys have looked at it. Darcy had sent it out to you prior to the meeting, and that's what we went on for that. So, any questions for me?
When is it the city or that the city can start doing something with it? Not that we have it tonight, you know.
Yep.
When do you have,
You're gonna actually receive the money on February 7th of 2023 here, so just in about less than a month. But you can spend those dollars now at any time. So if you are moving ahead with your project, with your purchase, you can spend those dollars at any time. And the reason is because now you've held the public hearing that gives you the authorization to do that and reimburse yourself.
so has Richie been paid?
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
He understood all this stuff, that it takes time and all this kind of thing. Reason being, when I drive down that street, it looks like there's still a for sale sign.
Yeah,
There
there
is.
is, I know.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
little disconcerting. But it's not.
Well,
He had his down payment money though.
What's that?
He had his earnest money, the
Yes.
50 that we gave him.
and actually, so the realtor asked me one day if she could take her name off and put sold on her, And I said, I don't know if we
Do that until
we
after
do
this.
that.
I want people to
You
know
know,
who wants to like do that. I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah,
Nobody
I mean,
wants to do that, actually.
So
I would
I'm going to feel a whole lot better when this is done.
After your resolution this evening, I would say by you directing the sale, if you pass this resolution as we're recommending, then I would think that, Mayor, you could feel confident you've taken the first step. Your next meeting, and I believe you're having a meeting, are you meeting again this month?
Yeah, the 23rd
You're
is
meeting
your
on the-
schedule,
You're
yeah.
meeting on the 23rd, and that is to do all the documents. So tonight, the mayor only has to sign like 2 documents. After that meeting, the mayor has to basically sign his life away with all the rest of the bonding and documents. And so that is just what will happen at that meeting is it will be 1 or 2 resolutions, and it's just outlining all the documents, because bond counsel, because you have 24-hour meeting law rules, cannot prepare the documents with all the filled in numbers if we take a bid at 11 a.m. and then we have to have it for a 7 o'clock meeting. They can't fill in all those documents, get them to you in the proper time that you need to review them. So you're awarding, locking in the interest rate tonight, and all the rest of the documents will come then on the 23rd to be just signed.
Here.
All right.
But back to your question, Richie was fine. Yeah, with we just said it. This is going to take some time, and so he was good with it. So yeah. So I mean, any questions? I got to witness this thing that Darcy and I the sale of it, and I've done some things like this before. I've been on a school board, and I've been on. So when we did bond, but I never sat in on the actual sale of those. So yeah, that was all right.
So we accept bids electronically, of course, because that's the world we live in. Bids are accepted electronically. They also can email us in. They can still fax us in bids because it's the state of Iowa, and our law still allows that. Whenever we order a new copier, I'm always like, it has to have a fax machine, and the copier people are like, no. And I was like, because I would just, it has to have a fax machine in it for the state regulations. So,
2 organizations go back and forth almost like an auction.
so it's what we call closed auction. And so we were viewing it. I was sharing my Zoom screen so that the mayor and Darcy could view it. But no one else knows who's on the auction site. No one knows who's bid on the auction site. They don't know what the interest rates are that have been bid. So it's closed auction for that 30 minutes. And at the end of the 30 minutes, the screen directs you back to say, this is the winner. And at that point in time, everyone who has submitted a bid is made aware if they are the winner, if they are not the winner. If they're not the winner, they usually just move on with their day. If they're the winner, they have about 45 minutes worth of paperwork to fill out for federal regulatory purposes and get filed within about a 2-hour window.
It's more like a sealed bid than it is like an auction market.
It is. It's a sealed bid, but it is held on an auction site that we can view. And our staff in our office is able to view it, and then we're able to share that as it's happening. So sometimes you wait and wait and wait. We were well with only about 10 minutes left to go before we saw our first bid out of that 30 minutes. So we've had them run where The last 2 minutes, we'll have 10 bids come in, and we won't have a bid before that. So, take them 28
And
minutes
it
to
has
kind
to
of.
be decided by the 30 minutes.
It is. It's a
And then
30-minute window.
They
They have 30 minutes to submit their bid. And it should take them, the auction site that you hosted, there's 2 sites nationwide that host all municipal debt auctions. So it's pretty similar. That site says from the time they log on, enter the interest rates and check everything, it should take them 90 seconds to submit a bid. So it doesn't take very long. And it asks them questions and stuff, right? They're watching other things happening in the market. They're, especially on a Monday, they're waiting to hear from people who may have called, like Bankers Bank was one of the later bids to come in. I'm sure they had their deal struck with Freedom Bank, but they could have been waiting on somebody at Freedom Bank to call them this morning and say, oh, hey, yeah, we're totally in, or we're, in for this, so.
Very good.
Interesting.
Okay, well, yes, well, thank you. So then I guess we can then go to item 7, right? Resolution number 1375-22, a resolution ratifying, confirming, and approving electronic bidding procedures and official statement. So we need a motion to
It's inside this.
accept the ratifying.
I would make a motion to accept resolution 1375-22.
Oh, is there a second?
I'll second it.
This would be roll call?
Yep.
All right.
Engelhardt,
Yes.
Ingstrom,
Yes.
Malcolm,
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Very good. That passes. All right. So then item 8 is resolution number 1376-22, a resolution directing sale. What did you say that was, Maggie?
So that's actually locking in your interest rates tonight. You are actually, with this resolution, accepting the bid that is in front of you from Bankers Bank and Freedom Bank. And you'd be locking in all the interest rates. So nothing will change after tonight. You'll just have more documents to sign in a couple of weeks.
All right.
I move that we accept proposal resolution 1376-22.
Okay, second?
I'll second
All right. All right. Darcy, whenever you're ready.
it. Engelhardt,
Yes.
Ingstrom,
Yes.
Malcolm,
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Thank you very
All
much.
right, thank you.
Thank you. It's very interesting. I would know so much into this.
So we're got you covered then, Maggie, huh?
You have me covered.
All right,
Yes,
thank-
thank you again for participating today. I'm glad that you found it enjoyable because
Yeah.
really, I will say, we would come up for some meetings sometimes, but sometimes we would just do it in the office. And I will say that's one thing that COVID has changed is
Yeah.
now we do those electronically and we view it with everybody and we hear great comments about it, just like that it's very interesting process.
All
So,
right.
so thank you all.
You
Have a
bet.
good
Well,
evening.
drive safe.
Have a good night.
Thank you
Yep.
so much.
Okay, then let's go on to item 9 then. Boards and organizations. This is for the budget request for FY 23-24. Somebody start her out. All right.
I'm Mindy, also ambulance, and we're just requesting the same amount as we got last year. Pretty much just, everything's gone up, supplies and equipment and everything, like everything in the world. We need to really recruit and start training and getting people through class. We haven't had one recruit since COVID. So that's our main goal this year. NICC had a grant, but that's running out, so the price will probably go up again to send people through EMT training. We have an advanced EMT now, Andy Beering. So that takes quite a bit of money because we have to pay for medication to keep on the ambulance. But it's very nice because he has those skills that we don't have to call for a paramedic. But when he's not around, when we call for a paramedic, that costs us extra money as well.
Excuse me, what's Andy's title?
He's an advanced EMT,
Advanced.
so that's kind of between a paramedic and an EMT. He can do a lot of skills. if we could get a few more advanced EMTs, that would really help as well, but we'd have to send them through the training.
What did that cost? I mean, I just really applaud Andy and your organization for,
Yes, I
what does
was
it cost to go to advance
really
it?
thinking about doing it until things kind of went down lately, but it's a lot cheaper than a paramedic, and he can do every skill except for a few narcotics. Let me think here. His training was just under $2,000, and for a paramedic, it's about $10,000.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's a lot cheaper. Yeah.
So is the training, well, so it must be more advanced if I mean, for the paramedic then, yeah.
Like one of the skills Andy can't do is he can't read a heart monitor. He can hook it up and everything and send it on to the hospital for the hospital to read. But we can do that as well. He just can't read it. He can't do some of the heart medications, like if someone's having, let's say they're coding, we'd have to call a paramedic for that, but everything else he can do.
Yeah.
It's amazing. He really, I commend him too. He did a great job. It's a lot less schooling. It's a lot less, yeah, if we could get some more people to do that. I'd like to. I almost started and just a lot going on right now, so I might do the next class. But we could really use some EMTs, so if you hear anything, send them my way.
Yes.
What do you have active, Mindy, for you currently?
For EMTs?
EMTs.
Well, now there's a difference between what we have on staff and how
Right,
many
so I say, how many are active?
active. For ones that are really keeping the service together, I would say about 6 or 7. And you know, people only can do that for so long
Right.
before they get burnt out
Yeah.
too. And we have some really good drivers. We have some that are, you know, only drivers that are doing a lot too.
Oh yeah, I'd seen that in the paper where, name's drawing a blank.
Right now we have like JC Bohr and Larry Fry.
Yeah, Larry had
Larry
like over
posts a lot.
100 drives last year. It was in the
Mhm.
paper, and I seen him at a visitation and thanked him for that because
Yeah.
that's dedication to
Oh yeah.
be on 100 ambulance calls for anybody.
Yeah, during COVID, we had Greg Larkin and Larry Fry. So many COVID calls. Yeah, we're having a meeting Wednesday night, and we're gonna go through, you know, everyone's calls and.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah, and a driver, good driving record and CPR. That's
Yeah.
all they need too. Mhm.
Well, it's the whole thing's a lot of dedication and
It
yeah,
is.
you bet.
It is. It takes away from family.
Right,
And,
the drivers and the EMTs get paid per call or per event? How
yes.
does that work? How much?
And so, depending on how many go out, if it's just a driver and an EMT and back, it's $120 shared.
Okay.
Now, if you have 2 EMTs in back and a driver, they shared the $120. Now, Andy gets extra stipend because of his advanced skills. Mhm. And you talk to any other service around here, they don't get that, you know, so we do reward them very
Good,
well.
yeah.
And we still can't recruit.
Yeah, right.
You know,
To drive, you have to be an EMT also?
No.
Like, so my husband could apply to drive your ambulance.
he just has to be CPR certified and pass our insurance. We have to send him
I
to
was
our
just curious,
insurance.
yeah.
Mhm.
Do another
Just give
job.
Get him out of the house.
He might be watching you.
Yep, I just send their name and driver's license to our insurance company, and they come back and say they.
Can or they can't.
Yep, yep, and we appreciate all the past. You guys have supported us, and yeah, we want to keep us around for a long time.
You bet.
How is the equipment?
Pretty good.
Okay.
You know, before I came along, it was a new ambulance every 5 years, but they went on a lot more transfers.
Oh, okay.
And so now we're trying to stretch it every 10 years. So the last ambulance we got was at the end of 2016. So we're hoping to keep this one going till at least 2026. And then,
Then that one would roll to your second one, is that what you're saying, or not?
what's that?
Would that roll to your second one? Because you guys have two,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So that
So
one
that
would just
would roll
roll to
in
the
the back.
second, yep.
And then usually our back one, Claremont buys, and
Sure.
now, I don't know if everyone knows this, but now Elgin is under us
Oh.
as well again.
Right.
And they've been doing excellent. The town of Elgin really is supportive. They've been really good and they've been doing their own thing. All I do is kind of take care of their payroll and help with their trainings and keeping them organized and all that stuff. But they've been paying their share and they've been paying for all their own equipment and everything.
Well, and I think it's one of those things when a city loses it, if it can come back, they,
Yeah.
they realize the
I
value
think
of
they
it, you know,
really
of,
realized
right,
it. Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so I don't know if, they bought their own ambulance on their own. So then, yeah, when we get a new one, I'm sure Claremont will be interested in ours and kind of the rotating thing.
Sure.
The only thing that kind of hurts Andy is that we don't have a defib in our backup unit. So he goes by our defib on what kind of medications to
Oh, okay.
use. So if he's in the backup unit and he doesn't have that defib, he can't always. So eventually we may have to invest in another defib, which is very expensive.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What is a estimated range on those?
Well, the new, right now they're going about 28,000.
Oh,
Mhm. All we have right now is like a real fancy AED. And with the fundraiser with the golf outing thing,
Oh.
we're looking into buying, it's an entitled CO2. And it just checks your oxygen levels a lot deeper. And we're like, that's what everyone wants to buy with our fundraiser.
so it's more accurate.
Mhm.
How much did you make on that golf outing?
Between, when we shared it with fire, it was just about $6,000. And we shared it with fire. No.
That was total.
Sure, so it was like 3,000 apiece, about.
Yeah, I wanna say what we did, about
2960.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Mhm.
Pretty close to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good.
Yeah,
That's
hoping to increase that every year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Any other questions?
All right, Mindy.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Paul?
Good evening, guys.
Good evening.
All right, so I am the farmer's market manager. And in your packet, I have in there last year what the market had taken in and what we had spent. Currently, the market does receive a grant through RC&D, as you will see on there, for a manager and an advertising grant.
I laid it out for you. I made you a copy. It looks like this. This is what she's talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
It wasn't in your packet, but she
Okay.
wrote
But
it.
it was something else.
Because there is
one in our packet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
little
but
bit of
this
a-
is what she
but
wrote.
that is, yep.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I passed it to the other.
So the market, this coming year will be going on its fourth year. The last 2 years, the market has really grown. If you've attended, you probably noticed that. This year, this month, we will be applying for a federal ID number, which we will be able to use SNAP dollars and double up food bucks, which will be nice for our community that they can bring and purchase items at the market. We are going to extend our market by 1 hour. So by doing that, when we have our music, that will add an additional cost. The market runs for 13 weeks this year. Last year it was a couple weeks shorter. We took a week off for Rag Bride. And there's another week we've taken off. I can't remember why, I guess. But, Some exciting things that happened last year was the Field of Dreams with Larry, Mary Jo Moore participating in the Luther baseball team. Their coach and pitcher was over. Toppling Goliath and Conversions also did a taste testing, which was great events as well. We will continue the taste testing, and as of right now, we are adding 3 new vendors and hopefully another food truck. So as you can see on the budget that I've presented before you, it's a tight budget. So I was presenting this to you tonight in hopes of maybe some support from the city for our farmers market.
What are you asking, how much are you asking for?
1,500.
1,500? What's this, 6,700? That's just your last year's
Yeah,
expenses.
yes,
You started with 163 and you ended with 160.
yes. So it's pretty
That's
tight.
pretty tight.
It's a tight budget, and also, and I do get paid. You can see those months, and I gave back to the market as well. So we are raising our vendor rates, but not by much, because we want our vendors to make money at this as well. But we
How
are
much
going.
is it per vendor?
This year it's going to be $25 for the year.
And what was it before?
It was $5 a night or $20 this evening. It's pretty cheap. So, but we want people to
Yeah,
come.
yeah.
So are you gonna have them pay
So it's gonna be $25 regardless if they're one.
if they're there once or 5 times?
Mhm.
Okay, good, that makes sense.
Well, with Toppling and Goliath team, they had sampling.
Mhm.
Are you sad you missed out?
What's that?
Sad you missed out?
Yes.
Well, how do they get by, that they didn't have to have like.
Because they
a
don't
license?
sell. They don't
Oh, I
sell.
see, they just sample.
Right. They just give samples, yes.
Well, that's
But if you
just-
told them, would you just give them a key to your car, you could probably buy a case and they could just.
Yeah. So, like, empty nest,
Did
for
you hear that,
example, goes to farmers markets, but they have an Iowa liquor law to do that. So if Toppling and Goliath had an Iowa liquor law to do that, they could sell.
Liquor license.
Liquor license, yeah. So,
Toppling and Goliath has a liquor license,
But-
just for that premise.
They would need to have, so like when we talked about what class they
Yeah.
have, it would, that determines it. So,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Right, so they can give it a sample, yes.
That's what you heard.
So,
Oh, yeah.
Cause there's no money passing.
right. So,
You want 1,500.
yes, that's what I'm asking for. And that would help cover the cost of entertainment. As you can see, that's what it was this last year, which it will increase some with the extra added hour. Well, and we do have a couple other sponsors as well. So none of what I'm asking for will go towards my manager expense. It'll all go back into the entertainment expense category.
So you get paid to manage this, right?
I do right now. Our C&D, we're underneath them, and they have written a grant for our market manager, as well as Decorah, Strawberry Point, the other area farmers markets. Those managers get paid as well. Yes,
That's good.
but that grant is a 3-year grant, so that will run out.
I don't even see here where you, where your pay is.
No,
Oh, okay.
so I get paid those months, but as you all know, it's a year-round thing with a market.
No, you don't stop working in October.
Right. So,
Well, you have really made it something, Paula. It's,
Yeah, kudos to you
yeah,
on that.
yeah. I wish we could get more people there, but
well, actually, there is quite a few people that do come.
Yes.
And out-of-town people.
Mhm.
I think there's larger communities that have less of a turnout.
yeah,
Right. So
Yeah, what will that extra hour, what time will that be? When is it going to?
it'll be from 4 to 7. So we feel like we're missing, with the banks close at 4, the school gets done at 4, Norflex gets done at 4. So we're hoping to capture those people within our community
On their
to
way
come to the
home. or
market.
something.
Is your extra hour on the front end?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's real smart.
Yeah. So hoping to catch those people. We've heard a lot of comments that REC gets done at 4. So,
Yeah.
hoping to involve, or give those guys an opportunity to be able to come.
Well, they'd have to drive right past it on
That's- So yeah, it'll be 4 to 7 this coming year.
Very good.
So good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
Great
good.
job, Paula.
All right.
I don't know if that manager fee paid for your gas?
She gave most of it back. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Paula. Anybody else here to present?
Well, I've never done this, so I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to talk about. Do you guys have a copy of the paper I presented?
They have your budget number.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, the total?
Yeah.
So we didn't change anything from last year, and Cindy actually came to the library and we sat down together and did the budget together. And did not change hardly anything on it. The only thing we did was like increase our insurance and decrease magazines. So like, because insurance went up and magazines are going out of business. So it worked perfectly. It was like this synchronous thing. I will say that we are increasing programming a lot. So we will have more things going on. And I am increasing the variety of books that we have, the languages of the books that we have, and I am actively looking at the demographics of mostly age groups. That's really interesting. We have some age groups I think we're pretty successful with, and some age groups that we're not as successful with. And so I'm very intentionally coming up with ideas about how to get more of those age groups in the library and get more people involved in the library. Our numbers are up significantly compared to last year. I don't have the data in front of me as compared to pre-COVID, but that is something I'm going to be looking at too. So my goal is not only to get us back to better than last year, but to get our numbers and things higher than before COVID even. So that's something I'm very proactively, intentionally working on, and trying to make sure that everyone in our community feels welcome. And I really, at some point, want the library to have fun events all the time. Just it's a place that people can go and not just think, oh, it's just books or it's just computers. So this next year, you should see a real big increase in a lot of different kinds of programming. So that's all I have.
Oh, good.
Hey, Carl.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
That's good.
Sorry.
Anyone else? All right, then let's go
Can we
on.
ask about the special meeting then to talk about
Oh,
the budget?
yeah,
So
so,
you
go ahead.
heard from Maggie tonight that, and I gave you a list of the bond. So we need to call a special meeting on the 23rd. And I know that we talked about a budget workshop at the last meeting. However, I wanted to kill two birds with one stone. I want to change your budget workshop to the 23rd
Okay.
at
That's
7
on my
o'clock.
calendar.
Does that work for everybody
What day of the
then?
week is that?
That's a Monday.
Okay, then.
Yeah. I can do
Okay,
it.
so January 23rd at 7 o'clock,
Those are church council.
16th, the week before.
you will finish
And
your
not the 16th.
borrowing.
16?
Right, it's not, it's the 23rd.
Yeah, because we were going to do it a different day on that
Right.
week.
We are, yeah.
So yeah,
So that works. So then we will hammer out your budget.
perfect.
Okay,
If that works.
all right, great, yep, but everybody put it
Oh,
down.
what time?
Got it in there, Larry?
7.
7.
7 o'clock.
I don't know. Just to see if I'm on call.
Okay. Everybody put that in your books.
Can I call?
Back up.
Mhm.
Okay, go on now?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Item 10, then resolution number 1377-22, a resolution approving city attorney updated contract. Darcy, you go ahead.
Yeah, so you had an update in your packet there from the city attorney. They're raising their rates like everything else. So they need you to sign off on their rate increase.
Tell them we'll negotiate.
We have to hire a lawyer to get that done though, don't we?
Yeah.
So, the resolution approves the updated contract, which is just increasing their hourly rate.
All right. Tell them we want the lower paid people to work on stuff for us now.
Yeah, I know. So our city attorney is an associate, just so you know. When you look at the cost, I think the What's it currently at?
It's like $10.
Is it 165 and
Yeah.
you're going to 175 and then to 185?
Yeah.
I saw it earlier, and I can't find it now.
Find that big pack that you're digging through right now.
It should be in order.
So right now, Larry, he's at
It's in order when we get 'em.
165 and then July 1st, and then 175, and then July 1st of 24 to 185.
It's this resolution 1377-22 is the cover sheet on it.
It's a lot of paper, isn't it, Doctor?
Yeah. So I saw their little heading next to other things, the pay increase, what do you do? I do applaud them for their
Thoroughness.
feedback and thoroughness, and I
Yes.
think they've been better than any attorney the city that Darcy's worked with in the past.
She seems to like them.
Yeah,
And not-
I
it's
like
not a
that
last
they
minute, you know.
answer me, yes.
Right.
So,
I mean, it would be silly to try to get another attorney and
there
then
it is.
have to start from scratch. I move that we adopt resolution 1377-22.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Whenever you're ready, Darcy.
Engelhardt,
Yes.
Angstrom,
Yes.
Malcolm,
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
All right, pass. Thank you. Yeah, get that tree. That gets that pile right over there. All right, then let's go on to item 11, then ordinance number 706-22, an ordinance amending chapter 69, parking regulations of the city code of ordinances. This came together, and this was directed also from our attorney, wasn't it, Darcy?
Uh-huh.
To kind of clear this up or
Yeah.
make it easier, right? Something like.
The issue that we had brought to the attorney that kind of spurred this was we had some questioning about snow removal and parking tickets that were issued. And the city attorney was saying how the state code, the mayor or the clerk have to issue a snow emergency when we're writing the parking tickets. However, the tickets were written under the no parking from November 1st to April. So they weren't under a snow. And he said, in order to clear that up, let's follow the state code and let's update your ordinance. So it would be easier for law enforcement with parking enforcement when there's snow. So there's not a confusion on what the code it's written under.
It's a parking ticket, period.
Correct, yeah. And I think the rates changed too, right?
Yeah.
Currently, they're 15?
15.
So the code, it'll update, it'll increase the parking ticket cost too.
So they increase it by $5 and then another 30 days, they increase it another $5?
And our code doesn't say that now, our ordinance. We charge
No, it just
15.
says 15 and you have 3 days to pay it, and then other enforcement actions would take after the third day.
That doesn't state
But it
what they are
doesn't-
currently.
Well,
right.
we would have to go through the courts, so.
So it doesn't sound like it's very much teeth, and why would you pay it?
Yeah, for $20.
Huh?
I know, $20.
I mean, $20 and it goes up to 25? I mean, a lot of people can just stiff you with these things, wouldn't they?
Oh, it happens.
Well, what we can do is if
What's the
we have,
incentive to try to get this to come to?
if we have their social security number, we can file it with the income offset and we can collect it if they file a tax or get a tax return, we would get collected at that time. The second option would be if we don't have their social security number, we would have to file it through the
Court
courts
system.
For 25 bucks.
to collect through the court system, so.
Chances are, if it happens once, it'll happen again.
So you're trying to say, Larry, that it needs to go up more than 5?
Maybe you should go $5 a month or something. I don't know, how do you
And that's
bring
what it
to the
says.
table?
That's what it says there here. It's the first, within the 30 days, it's not paid equals 5, and then it keeps going up $5.
Oh, I didn't understand that part of the reading of it.
I
I
think,
used to
yeah,
say it'll
right.
double in 30 days.
Right.
No, it goes up
If it's not paid within 30 days, it'll go up $5, and
It
it's
said it
not.
shall be increased by $5.
But
Doesn't
this is
say.
state code, so I don't know that we can do more than what
Oh,
the state
sure.
allows. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
This
Yep, because we
updates it
ran
to
into that
state
on other
code.
things.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's like double after.
Yeah, they keep jacking up, to bring them to the table and get something done. I hear you, okay.
You know,
It just seems like.
Yeah,
budgets
yeah.
is not pay us.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Not gonna be government.
would there be a motion?
So I'm going to accept that ordinance,
Yes, yes. Is there a second then?
622.
I'll second it.
And we can have some further discussion if you're not. If not, we'll, Darcy, call the roll.
Engelhardt,
Yes,
Ingstrom,
yes.
Malcolm,
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Okay, so you can let it go to a second reading, or you can waive the second and third and final adopt it if you want to tonight.
I move waiving the second and third reading.
Right.
Adopt it tonight.
Second?
I'll second that.
That also.
Yeah.
Okay.
roll call.
Okay.
Engelhardt,
Yes,
Ingstrom,
yes.
Malcolm,
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Okay. Done with that one.
Yep.
All righty. Item 12, water softener, fire department. Darwin.
There you go.
I'm Darwin Johnson with the Postal Fire Department, and we would like to install a water softener system in the station. It would help on the wear and tear on the two washers we have, and when we wash trucks, we could probably use the hard water to wash them, but we would rinse them off with the soft. Doesn't spot as bad as it does. Some of the windows are pretty bad. We had to take alcohol and everything to them to get the spots out of them. The cost of it will be paid out of the corporation's funds. It won't cost the city anything. The maintenance will be covered by the corporation too. So us putting salt and softener won't cost you anything. All we need is your approval to go ahead.
I move we approve the, move ahead with that.
Okay, Larry's made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Not all in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Carried, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Darwin.
Hey, I'm all in favor of that. Just a sidebar maybe on that, but I had I built a building and with a pressure washer, and I put a water softener in there, and it is amazing the difference that soft water makes through a pressure washer. So, yeah.
That's another one of our things that we're getting. We're getting a high pressure wash.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, then item 13 is fire department agreement discussion. This is, we got that in there, right? So we're gonna, and I'm gonna ask a couple of you guys if you want to join me Wednesday night at 5:30. Parts of the rural board will be here, fire department, a couple of fellas, and if I could get a couple of you guys, we're going to go through this language on the service agreement between that's not it. But anyway, the language. If you got it, you guys got it?
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, it's pretty simple. I mean, this is the process that we're going to take to get these fellas, get the fire department out on their own. So it's gonna start with that one, okay? And what we're gonna do is sit down and go over this, and if there's any verbiage, then, talk about that and add, subtract, do something with that. Our goal is still to have this all done by the 1st of July. Oh, yeah. Yep. Oh, thank you. Yeah. So I would really like a couple of volunteers, we don't need all, if we did, we'd have to call a special, we'd have to call a meeting, you know, and then, but if I had a couple of you guys, come along, or we'll probably meet here.
I'll sit in on it.
All right, Larry?
Not around that night, but
I can do it.
Okay, Mary, all right, that'd be
Thank you,
good,
Mary.
thanks. I
I'm not
shouldn't,
good at wordage, though, I'll tell you that.
what's that?
The
I'm not
city
good at
attorney will
wordage.
be present.
Okay.
Attorney, right there.
Yeah, actually, our attorney's actually gonna be here, and I've never met him, so at least I'll meet him this time, you know, and, this should not take long at all. I mean, the sole purpose is this, all right? And, yeah,
well, and that helps when you have a beginning point to work through already.
you bet. Yes, yeah. All right. So that was it. That was just a discussion on that, and you guys will be here, and,
Next Wednesday, right?
This Wednesday.
this Wednesday.
This Wednesday.
2 days.
5:30. The 11th.
What time?
5:30.
Still do it, or? Somebody else jumping in here who's got quiet. Is it still a yes for you, or?
Yeah.
Okay. We're all waiting.
It is. He's still right.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So then let's say, we're gonna go on then. We'll go to item 14, resolution number.
Nope, we took that off the agenda.
Oh, yeah. See, I scratch it, then I scratch everything. So we're down to the consent agenda then, you guys. So, look at that, take a look at that. If there's anything you want pulled out of there to talk about, we sure can.
I want to say something on that, the police aspect of it. On the packet, I don't know if you guys understood what I had at the end of the packet on our calls for service, our numbers.
No, yep.
Let me find it. The monthly report, or
Yeah. Is that
It's on the end of it.
So I had JT get the calls or service numbers from the Elmwood County starting in 2019
Secretary, yes.
and went to 2022. As you can see, our calls went up 36%. So with that being said, I am going to start moving forward and trying to work on finding a new hire here. Hopefully, I'm going to start working on this probably this week or see what we come up with. Because the calls are not going down any; they're going up.
What's kind of, is there any one thing? I mean, I see we got some people going armed with intent.
Yeah,
Carrying
Yeah.
weapons.
Yeah.
Is this the nature of the increase in the calls of people getting
You're getting a lot more of your weapons stuff.
weapons? Yeah, weapons and
Your
potential.
your past, well, not this month, but, you know, from February, December, we probably had 5 or 6 of them with 2 guns. And one was
Yeah,
just right up here on the traffic stop, we got 4 on us, so.
oh,
we about had
What the hell is people thinking?
So,
that's just it. They're not.
They're not, you know.
No. Hey, JT, I hate to put you on a spot, but we are live here. Can you come up and talk in the microphone?
yeah, I was hoping I could move it earlier.
what questions do you have?
Yeah, well, even if you repeat it, just repeat what you just said. You know.
I'm gonna ask the question again. What's the nature of the increase in these calls that you deal with?
A lot more of your weapons and violent fights. Like, your fights are very violent, like, the last one that did not involve a gun was, I can't go into too specific
Right.
names and stuff, I can't say that, but I can say what happened, but I can't give the name. Involved a baseball bat to a guy's head several times. I'm honestly surprised he was not killed, and it was very, very bad. And you know, there's 2 of us going looking for that guy, and he's right there. Just up here, traffic stop with Sierra. Guy pulls a gun, and I was backing her up. That came real close to going bad. We've had a vehicle not too far from the school get shot twice. Had that incident at the school that I'm sure you saw in the
Newspaper with a juvenile.
and all of that was kind of boom, 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 boom. And I've also had, you know, reports one on Murdoch Street, black car shooting 5 rounds in the air and driving off, and that was same report down to yours. But on the camera, we didn't see nothing,
Right,
so
right.
who knows if it was by your clinic or if it was by the storage shed. You know, who knows? I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's the same description.
Yeah.
So we're getting, and on top of that, I can't give the name of the guy either. I'm not going to. But somewhere over by Cheryl Street in Libran, we have a guy from San Antonio, Texas. He's listed as criminal gang member in San Antonio. And it's not just guns, it's, dealing with
Yep.
stuff with kids. Okay, I've been on the phone with San Antonio, Texas, trying to get information from them. They've been great. They've been giving me everything. So a lot more of your violent stuff is coming here. And
Is that Northeast Iowa wide, you think, or you think it's more
it's centralized
town related?
here, but because I'll be honest, I'll just say it. All your stuff that your Clayton investigators are getting from DrugWise, it's all coming from here. Winneshiek, same thing, coming from this town. That's the information that we're getting.
So are we getting a fair amount of help back from those entities like the Northeast Iowa Drug Enforcement and things like that?
Yeah,
for
so
you?
our side, we work with them.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been
Yep.
on the phone with a couple
Good.
of them this past
Good.
week. So, and just a lot, I would say overall, it's a lot more resistance, like bad, like
Yeah.
it's violent. Like last night was, for me on the stop was, on a call actually, was, I had 3 Clayton deputies trying to just keep her calmed down. But it's just out of control.
Yep.
So
She had a gun?
No.
Oh, God.
But it's just, I would say your weapons calls are way up. And another thing that we're seeing and what we did in the past was, that we saw in the past was more of your pellet guns, but they look like
Yep.
real guns. They don't have the orange tip
Right.
or nothing
Yep.
on it. Like,
Yep.
that's what people are walking around with. And that one case with the search warrant that involved, the car getting shot, that's what he had a lot of, but,
Okay.
but on
You don't know
video,
the
it was real.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the video, it was a real one.
Yep.
But, so yeah, that's what we're running into, and, whether that's, I just don't know.
JT, are the drugs being manufactured here, or this is just the place where they're
This is your house.
shipped to and
This
they
is your house. You're in
spread
the corner of 4 counties, so
Right.
this
This
is
is
your
the
house.
central zone.
yeah.
Even Prairie Machine's getting people from here, and all their information's coming from here,
But a lot of it's getting picked up outside of
outside of town.
out like Mason City area, stuff like that. But this is like the,
Distributing in Northeast Iowa, basically.
because there you go again. We're on 3 major highways.
It's kinda like the
18,
old line.
52 and 51.
Right.
Right.
And I'd say too, well, the past couple months too, we've had more meth arrests too, so.
Right.
There's a lot more than.
As a citizen, do we look for, are these drug exchanges, I guess, people from the bigger cities are bringing drugs to Postville?
Well, you got people from here and they're making.
They're making
their Drugs to wherever,
drugs up
yeah.
there.
And then they're distributing them out of their residence. Or,
Residents' cars.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, what I'm getting at is, if we see strange cars out in the country at night, is that a tip off of something that should be called in?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so.
Because the manufacturing of meth is coming back.
Yeah.
And they're doing the old school way again.
More of your throwing it in the Gatorade bottle, throwing it in the dish. And then you come
Shake and
back
bake.
and you
Yeah.
burp it and then you come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's starting to come back.
More your shake and bake stuff. When they shut down the border originally during COVID, we even had it in Marmac. Once the border was shut down, the country was shut down, we had like 2 or 3 meth labs come up in town, and we never had them before. During that 2-year span I was there, and then even Clayton County had a couple of them, and Fayette County had one. So
It's
you're
coming back.
starting to come back, because that's where all your stuff
Right.
is coming from, is down south, and it's all getting imported. But once they did that, when they shut it down, now they're like, well, I can't get my batch, so I'm just gonna make it myself, and it's not hard to make.
Right.
Hey, look it up online.
YouTube.
Yep, YouTube.
1 hour and you're done.
Yep.
Then they leave the residue in the ditch. And then
Yep.
that's why they always tell people
Yeah.
clean the ditches up. Make sure you don't pick bottles up that have
wear gloves or whatever, yeah.
Because
And
it's nasty.
I
Is
will,
it white? Is it hard? What is it?
well, it's liquid.
It's a liquid.
It's
Yeah.
liquid and then you heat it up.
You what?
Heat it
Put
up.
it up.
You heat it
You
up?
can make it on a coffee, you can make it on a coffee, like,
Well, I just don't wanna pick up a Mountain Dew and get, like,
It'll be clear, yeah. it doesn't-
Yeah.
Like fentanyl.
Don't touch that either.
yeah.
I'd say also too, we're getting more and more people from the facility too, here in town.
From the what?
Facility,
West
West
Union
Union.
facility.
So like during the weekdays when we're just single patrolling, are we getting some help from the counties around us of
Like
having some backup for you guys?
I mean, you got your, and I'm trying to bash them.
No,
It's just,
no, all right.
You have your couple of them that are always out moving around, doing something, and, you have your, like I said, your two that your couple of them that you can for sure rely on, but I'm not
All right,
bashing them.
all right.
I'm
No,
not-
just so it is.
I request Clayton that's right now, that if I request one from Albuquerque, you'll be now too, but sometimes you're lucky to only have one or two of those guys out at a time, just on how their schedule
Yep.
rotation is.
Yep.
But Clayton's, your work week either ends on a Saturday or starts on a Saturday. So on weekends, that's their big nights, but you at least have two. or
Right,
three
you
of
got two
those
here
guys all the time.
Besides, yeah.
Yeah, and plus we have that agreement with Winona. We can always get Winona if we have to, so. And
Do
they
we-
always like to come up here and get some coffee too, so.
Do we need to be looking at other towns to share with, like we're doing with Winona? Is there any that would benefit us at all? I mean, I don't know where you go, I mean, the next real closest is West
The
Union,
closest
walk
is-
on,
Right, and
and they're both 20 miles, but
and we do get help from Fayette County and Winnebago County.
Yeah.
If they hear it, they'll come.
Yeah.
Clayton County's been the
That's
probably about 90% of the ones that respond the best in Monona.
Is it because they're 24-hour coverage, you'd say, where Albuquerque is not?
Well, that and, they're normally out and about.
They have a presence that Clayton County's got a big presence down here. I mean, all you need to do is go 18 and 52 and they're
Yep.
on that
Yeah.
baby all the
Yeah.
time. So
They're even sitting with their lights off at
yes,
times.
they are.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that too.
Because
Which good for them, I mean.
Yeah.
Because their night shifts 8 to 6 a.m. and then you got your, it's
Cause
noon to 10, and then you got your 5 to 3s, and then you got your 8 to 6. So they're pretty heavy on nights.
Over,
and their
yep.
day shift is more your 7 to 5
routine.
people,
Yep.
so. But yeah, they're pretty. Plus, on top of that, they got a lot of reserves. So they got quite a few people
That
that
helps.
come in and work for them. So
In Elmakee County, they're still our same schedule as the city, correct, for coverage time?
Still done at
20 out of 24 hours.
Then they're on call.
Right.
But I'd just say that's what you're
Which
seeing. But I'd also see it we're getting also. They're bringing it in from. There's one town that's not far from here that they're bringing it in from, and I know at least 3 people are getting their stuff from.
You can't say what.
I'm
No,
not going
yeah, right.
And
North, south, east, or west again.
Well, don't matter. Just it's better off not saying. It's like
well, we gotta get.
it's like advertising when you're going to go in the military where you're attacking.
Yeah. So.
Tell
Oh, I
us
see what
after
you're
you've
saying.
done your thing.
And it's just hard, and too. It's like we want to sit and watch these places, it's
Right.
the documents. It's like
Then you're still trying to do your normal patrols and calls and
yeah, and it may not be not all the time back to back,
Right.
type calls, but I mean it's the kinds of calls that we're going to. That's starting to really starting, yeah. And then there's. And I think I mentioned one time with the radios at States Drive. I don't know what we can do about that, but the other night I couldn't have done it either. So.
What?
is there a way to get a booster somewhere that would help or not? Or it's just
portable.
Or I don't know if we have to do a repeater type of system, but that'd be
It's got to be because I was out there today and I was getting out finding my portable.
It could be with the fog and everything
Yeah.
else lately.
the weather.
Yeah, because I haven't had any issues with it for a long time.
I would say mainly it's school we can't get out of. So that's the.
Oh, yeah, that's
you
it.
can't, you cannot get out of school.
Metal
Metal
roof,
building, that's
yeah.
anywhere.
Brick and metal building.
Yeah,
Right.
but they're working on something right now to fix that for in school, so we're doing that.
You guys run cell phones somewhat then when you get in those situations, or?
Because they'll status check us or whatever, and if we're not answering, then they
Oh,
call
right.
us, but I don't. We think it's the PD phone, so we just hit
Sure.
ignore, you know, and because
Yep, you're in the middle of it,
dealing with
yep,
somebody
right,
and you don't
right,
want to just,
right.
oh, hang on, let
Yeah, yeah,
Let me take this.
yeah,
me take
just
this
sit there a
call.
minute.
They're all ticked off at
Right.
you, you know, and.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. That's just part of my experience with it, it's just a lot more of that. A lot more people with the facility coming here, a lot more of the weapons stuff. I mean, yeah, everything's working out, you know,
Well,
but thank God. But,
Right.
I'm just saying, like, you're starting to get to that, like,
So another hire, would that get us to getting 2 on call at night more often, or not?
Hopefully to get us to no call 24 hours.
if not, it'd be real close.
Yeah,
It's a good one, man.
24-hour coverage
24 hour.
24-hour coverage, yeah.
and overlap some that you'd have 2.
Right.
We need to approve this, I say.
No.
No,
No.
it's,
No, I can't. We gotta find some money.
Yeah,
You want moves?
We have to find some money.
What's coming? Oh, it's 2 meters, whatever they call that.
But it's, this is I mean, all you have to do is watch the news, you know, and this is just a violent world, and it isn't getting any better. It's,
No.
That
it's,
6-year-old shot his teacher.
Yeah.
Right,
Didn't know
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'd like to say, I mean,
thanks,
we're
JT.
at an intersection of everything too, it doesn't help,
yeah, you're right.
you know.
Kind of like Des
Right,
Moines.
yeah.
That's why Des Moines is
Right.
such a big.
80 and 35,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. 20 minutes.
Yep, yeah. Yeah, you get your 20, yeah.
Well,
Matt, do you have anything more on yours? You
Nope.
know, so you guys got the drift, you know, it's, I guess,
Recommend you guys.
yeah.
yeah, absolutely. You know, it's like EMTs and everything, you know, you guys are all put on the spot every time you go out, you know, so you never know. But we appreciate you. And
Sounds like we're pretty much about back to post-grade, actually, of what you were seeing of, you know, and they're bringing all the felons into work here.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing. A lot of new people from, especially from Nicaragua. A lot of new people from there.
is there?
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people who've only been here 2 months, and then it's about 9 months ago. I said when a lot of them came.
Well, and I'm guessing there's some that probably do the legal thing because you can do the H-2A visas, and I think Nicaragua, I know Honduras is one of them, South Africa, but you can get them for 10 months at a time. And if you're not screening them, you just, you know.
Is the dog helping at all?
Oh yeah, she's.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
we used her. not
Probably
that
a
long ago, yeah.
very valuable asset.
Zina's doing that. She's helping out a lot of times. She helps out Clayton County quite a bit too. Yeah, I mean, and Zina's helping us out quite a bit.
Did I read something about needing a canine car or something? Was that in here?
Mm-hmm. I don't think.
No, it's just taking bids on the next,
Yeah.
because they're probably 2 years out,
Mm,
at least a year. If,
Oh, yeah.
Chargers out this year.
In the notes.
but I mean, as far as,
Oh,
Might have to push it out.
but I mean, as far as getting it,
Oh, yeah.
you might
getting
be,
it. Well, right
you might
now,
probably at least a year, if not 2.
right now, I'm not even getting bids, quotes from
Well, yeah.
Dodge because they're not offering them.
Really?
Well, that's semis. The last semis that the feed ranch has been getting. Don't know the price till it arrives.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. How do you plan?
I don't know.
I mean, they won't.
Wow.
They're so far out, they won't give you a price till it's taken over a year for the last 2 they've got from order to get them.
Man.
I
Freightliners?
don't have a law, like, there's this guy in Texas that
Kenworth.
somebody was in somebody came into the restaurant with a BB gun, you don't know
All
that.
right.
And he was robbing the
saw that.
patrons of their, cell phones and wallets, and the guy shot him. And Texas has a law where you are allowed to do that, I guess.
Yeah, we have standard ground.
Does Iowa have that
Yeah.
law too?
Yeah, if you're field.
Stand your ground, but the guy wasn't, well, I guess the guy had already robbed him.
Yeah, just
And
But he has a gun that looks real, so
He was
your
walking
life is
away.
at danger.
That's
That's what I was wondering, if because he shot him in the back. Would that mean that,
So that's where you run.
Yeah.
Shoot back.
Well, let's say the rib cage.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
It's
on the side.
Yeah, on the side, side to the
one of
side.
the three shots hit it there anyway?
Yeah, there. Need anything else, man?
No.
Thank you, JT.
Thanks.
Thanks.
All right. Well, you bet. It's, we're gonna have to work on this one. Yep. Anything else in that consent agenda?
I think that's enough, isn't it?
Yeah. You want to make a motion to go ahead and accept that then?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
All right. Second,
I'll second it.
Mary. Any further discussion? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Carried. Item 16 then is a resolution for money to pay the claims.
So moved.
Second.
Whenever you're ready, Darcy.
Engelhardt,
Yes.
Ingstrom,
Yes.
Malcolm,
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
That's passed. Thank you. 17, public comment time.
Got 3 more minutes there, Crystal.
Pretty much talked out.
No, I'm here if anybody wants to talk to me with you guys.
Okay. Okay, we'll go on the mayor's report. I talked to Terry Draper this afternoon from Ziegler. I hadn't talked to him for a long, long time. And I says if there was anything that we needed to be looking at as far as, we're going into budgets now. If there's something we need to be looking at as far as sewer or water, he's thinking that probably nothing until 24. So,
That'll
and if
be
it
here
is,
before
if
we
it
know
gets
it.
really close to that, we can punch. But yeah, so
That's by their choice, not because. we're
exactly.
voting.
No,
It's not-
you bet. That's their choice. They're
Right.
going into, and this is a big project, and Terry said already, if we go out and try to put anything out for bid as far as a building, you're not going to get anybody.
Yeah.
It's already too late for a big project.
Yeah.
So.
For 2023.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So everything's the light is green yet. So we just
Is the purchase of land, is it a done deal?
you bet.
Okay.
All
Yes.
transferred.
Is that?
All transferred if you look on
Okay,
Snyder
just
Beacon.
want to make sure, somebody said there was some activity out there with some high lines or something. People want to know, is it done deal? Is it a sure thing?
It is. You bet.
Okay.
Yeah. And as far as so when this does happen, they will take 40 acres right along just north of this the city boundary there. It's kind of what Arnold and Kay live.
Yep.
That homestead will be gone. They'll take that out and then they'll build a building in there.
So do they want?
Arnold
all
and Kay,
40
that's the next
acres?
farm when you're going, the first farm when you go north there on the left.
Just right outside
Yeah.
the city.
Oh, yeah,
Just
yeah.
right
okay,
on
now I
there.
know.
Yep.
So would they want
know all
all
those
40
people,
in the
so.
city limits? Is that what they're asking or?
They haven't yet,
Okay,
but I think we will because I think they're
Right.
gonna use that for,
so we would annex?
You bet.
Okay,
And the rest are just gonna rent out the land. then,
Yep.
Yeah.
Marcus everything's gonna continue the same as it is right now.
So what are they doing with their old place now?
Well, that I don't know.
Okay, I just
Yeah.
thought maybe that
Obviously,
was
they'll be
already,
functioning for a couple of years with it.
Right.
okay, just checking.
So is this like public knowledge?
What I just told you?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, otherwise I'd have to, you can't get out of here alive. I told you too much. No, what I just told you
After I
is,
heard the police
Yeah.
report, I might not get out of here alive.
Thank you, Crystal, for your enthusiasm and.
yeah, no,
If you're gonna
yeah,
be in
yeah.
town, that would be a tougher thing. I mean, Cindy did a good job, but you could come here and function like the last person that was in charge of heart and soul. Which was non-functional,
Melissa.
just in case anybody wondered about my opinion. And you're not doing that, okay? Like, you ever see that movie?
You got any more comments, Mayor?
Oh, no, I can't yet.
Sorry, I just wanted to.
Council comment.
okay.
I guess we're getting them.
And what happened, it's tougher.
Good thing you didn't show
When
the
you
article.
have to, it's tough for you to turn over stones.
She
It
wrote
would be
the grant.
for you to turn over stones.
Yes.
That's right.
It is, But I think there's advantages to being new as well. I think, it's because I'm new, I can ask things that maybe someone who's been here longer couldn't or would feel stupid asking. So I feel like I can ask anything because I'm new.
Right, well, I recognize the enthusiasm and the effort and going for it, you know, so thank you.
Yeah, brand new set of eyes looking at things. That's helps sometimes. Becky, do you have
I
something?
have 3 comments.
Ooh.
I'm really in a really disappointed mood. Just for the hell of it, I called Nathan at Allen Real Estate and just kind of asked him about what's going on with Good Sam. Well, he told me they want 1.5 million for it. And I said, yeah, I said, I'm on city council. This is kind of how I said, I said, I'm on city council. And I was thinking I could bring up this buy Good Sam and make it into condos or something like that. And he said it would be cost prohibitive because it'd be another $1 million to fix it like you'd want it. Number 2, it'd be, he said, I told them if they dropped it a 0 off, maybe I'd be interested in buying it, but they would not budge. So that's just a comment.
You're right.
And on the land that we're buying, are we gonna start developing it right away? Why?
Find some money.
Huh?
We have to find some money.
Or you have to find a developer.
Yeah.
What we are going to do is we have a meeting on this Wednesday with Erdman Engineering. We're gonna sit down with them and have them put together a development for us. So we know water, sewer, so we know what the cost would be. So you'll be getting probably your next agenda, an agreement for Erdman services.
You probably spend 10 to 20 times what we bought it for developing
Right.
it.
Unless we find a developer.
Right.
Right?
Right.
That is an option.
Right.
We could have someone approach us and want to develop it, but it's good to have a plan on the shelf.
Right, I understand that. And I only bring this up because somebody came up to me, one of the people in the community, and said something about, why are we waiting? And I said, I don't know. I didn't really know.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm sorry. I just didn't think that we would move on this as fast as we could if we knew we
All the
could.
lots were sold.
Yeah.
Or a good
I don't
percentage,
know.
yeah.
I had no idea what it takes to do that,
I think you'll
You have
see.
to have some order to the process.
Oh,
You
yeah.
just think, well, I'm gonna buy 2 acres there and I'm gonna build a house.
Right.
And then what happens?
You have to have it all
And-
plotted out, right?
Yeah, it's
Well,
gotta
yeah, and I
be-
understand you have to get all and I didn't know what to tell him. I said, well, I'll check into
You
it.
bet. Yeah.
And then another thing, and I'm not the only one that wants this, because several people come to me about it too. The police report in the Postal Herald, we get everything from Clayton County and Alameda County, but we never get anything from Postal.
Supposed to be every month.
And I've seen it once.
We do it once a month. We don't do it weekly like
Well, no, and I wouldn't expect that, but I've only seen it once since I got in the
it
paper.
was. I know she puts it out there because I see it.
Well, it doesn't go to the Herald, because I asked them.
Well, I get it has to go somewhere because it gets posted in the Herald.
Well,
Because that's who the emails will get sent to.
did they send it to Midwest or did they send it to the Herald?
I think it goes right to Nadine and them guys.
Because I said, I want to thank you for putting a
No, because she
report
does.
in.
Sierra's in
she
charge of the police
Senate,
reports,
yeah.
press releases every end of the month.
At the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
So the end of December, we should have one, or the first part of January, we should have December.
Right. So that's
It'd be this week, right? No, it should have been last week.
It wasn't in.
It wasn't in there. last
Yeah.
week.
Well, I know right now, not Nadine, but one of the Nicole,
The Vega girl?
yeah, she's gone for a month on vacation or whatnot because I tried contacting
Oh, the
her the other day on
country
some other issues and she
I've
wouldn't
called them
respond.
3 times about a bill and no one has called me back or emailed me.
And I had issues where I didn't get proof of publications for our bonding and for our budget amendment. It was published on November 30th. I did not have it by the end of December. The bonding attorney thought I was lying to him that I had not sent the paperwork back because I didn't have the proof of publications that I have to send with it. They told me they mailed them on the 21st of December. I still hadn't gotten them. I went back to them again and finally Nadine walked them in here last week. She told me that they're short-staffed in New Hampton and they've been having a lot of issues.
In New
So-
Hampton. Because they print it all over there, I guess.
Yes.
And then you throw what the postal service has been lately and
Yeah.
You just don't know where
Right.
it is. Yeah.
It's at the library.
Oh, okay, we'll go look at the police report at the library.
Yeah.
Book
Or
club
that-
will
that-
read it.
Okay, thank you, and I'm not ragging on
No,
anybody.
no,
It's just
that's,
that, you know,
it's every month to get the, end of the month is when the press releases go out. Like I said, we don't do it weekly like
oh, no, and I
Like
wouldn't
Sheriff's
expect it.
Department
In
does,
fact, the last
yeah.
one I saw was for the month.
Anything else, Becky?
No.
You can ask some more if you want.
Let's see, no.
All right. Anybody else?
On the budgets last year, did we not? I was thinking when we did those, we had asked them, or was that gonna happen this year to give us a rundown of what they'd use their funds on?
Yep, you did ask for that. I have not gotten on what they use their funds on. I think I maybe did from community action.
Okay.
That might have been the only one. I don't know if I had that in the past around for you, but the other ones I did not get anything back from them on what they spent the money on.
On all the groups?
Right, no.
I mean, like we kind of know, like the library, obviously, and the
Right, well,
poli- or
but they're
the
city department,
right,
so.
yeah, and the fire department, the ambulance, those we have a pretty good understanding. But I mean, I think it's getting to the point of for where we are for funding and what these people are asking for. If we're not getting anything back, I think we got to look out for our own community first, and then go from there. Look at when we do our budget of what we absolutely need as a city, and then what's left, and start allocating. But I mean, if they're not willing to give us and share reports back of where they're spending their money, I guess I'm to the point of start cutting it back quite a bit.
I can tell you that your valuations are down due to changes in the rollback. So we're going to be about $10,000 less coming in the general fund to allocate.
Because
So-
of what was it?
The
The
rollback.
rollbacks on the property valuation. So $1 million in valuations.
Million valuation.
So
Equates
it's
to about
about
10,000
10,000
in
less
revenue.
in the general fund. So you're gonna have 10,000. Now think about your general fund. You've got your pool, you've got your library, you've got the city clerk's
That's right.
office, you've got the police, you've got the fire.
Right.
So that's a lot of division of your pie and $10,000 less.
Right.
So
So I say we got to look for ourselves first.
but we'll talk about that on the 23rd.
Mm.
So
All right.
Well, I just wanted to put a bug out, make sure I was thinking correctly anyway.
and as you remember, your donations have to be for the public purpose.
Right. Northeast Iowa Community Action did. I remember seeing
They
that
did do
they
it.
showed where they were using their
And they
funds.
did do
Yeah.
an agreement with you, so we
Right.
have that on file
Right.
so that you legally can give to
I
them.
sense from that alert kind of that you sent in there about the nonprofits. Do some of them not have the 28E agreements with us?
Well,
They all should have.
Well,
like the
you
Meals on Wheels
So
one.
you can give to other government entities. So your Almaquee Economic Development, your Clayton Economic, those are government entities. But like, for example, your helping services, they would have to have some sort of agreement with you for you to legally give to them. The Turkey River Watershed, they didn't ask for anything this year, but that would be another one. The substance abuse, that one too, you'd have to have some sort of agreement.
So there's a fair number we can just cut
Right, when you're
due to
looking like,
legality.
for example, farmer's market. You could not allocate your general fund tax dollars, but you could allocate your hometown celebration money because that was
Oh, okay.
donations given for an event.
Okay.
So you'll be looking at that funding and deciding whether or not you would allocate anything for the farmer's market because of that purpose. So, yeah, there's rules, and I think if
Yeah, you can
put that
use
in your
that. Yep.
packet to kind of
Yep.
guide you with it, so.
So there's people who ask you for money but don't tell you what they're spending it on?
And it's always been that way. And last year I had asked for that, but
Happens. All right. Anything else, you guys?
well, and yeah, you're right. It happens until you stop
Exactly.
enabling.
Yeah.
It's going to continue. I mean, it's just like a kid. If you keep enabling it, they're going to keep doing it. So
Pretty much.
when you stop it, then the next time they have a lot better plan when they come to you, it seems.
That's right. All right. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Opposed, say no. Carried.
Becky, what is that? Just a